Hello, dear friends. We wholeheartedly welcome you all, esteemed delegates and friends, to Panorama International Literature Festival 2024, conducted by Writers' Capital International Foundation worldwide. I'm Secretary General and PILF Chief Coordinator, Professor Irene Doura-Kavadia, extending you a warm embrace from Athens, Greece. Welcome to our live session, which is, as we always say, a celebration of literature and of life, because we in Writers' Capital bridge cultures and unite nations. Therefore, we have joined all together in the realm where life meets literature in today's special session with renowned intellectuals. We have here today personalities from India, and we are welcoming them warmly. Panorama International Literature Festival is one of the two signature programs of the Writers' Capital Foundation, along with Panorama Arts Festival, in which hundreds of writers from across the world get together, getting inspired and marking the beginning of yet another season of celebration of literature. Panorama Festival is also a world record-winning program as the lengthiest multilingual literature festival where renowned literateurs participate from more than 87 countries. And this year, in this session, poets and writers meditated upon the theme Agni, the spark, or the element of fire, composing a work for eternity. At this point, I have the pleasure to deliver to you all the best wishes and the warm welcome of Preet Nambiar, our Honorable Founder, President of Writers' Capital Foundation and Panorama Chairman, poet, author, and ardent humanitarian, the mastermind behind the Panorama Festival and behind the highly inspirational theme of it too, which hundreds of writers across the world have been able to delve into. He has also made efforts to inspire the young generation for a better planet, as school children and students have also been involved in the project called The Embers of Change, trying to turn words into action by contributing to a reduced carbon footprint. So we have schools from Greece, Italy, Spain, also Latin America, Costa Rica, for example, where students try to give us stories, letters, and essays against global warming. In this session, we proudly announce the Quill Compendium 2024, the captivating literary venture affiliated with the renowned Panorama International Literature Festival. This vibrant publication is said to be a multicolored masterpiece designed to international standards. It features significant writers and distinguished delegates who grace the Panorama International Literature Festival, ensuring a global reach as the book is distributed across the world. Its unique advantages lie in its dual format, as it will be available both online and in print, providing a diverse audience with convenient access. Plus, Writer's Edition feature. Articles published in the book will be showcased in our prestigious online magazine, writersedition.com, attracting thousands of readers globally. Today, we meet in this special session in a panel discussion as we shall be unveiling the wisdom within the song divine. We have the pleasure to have among us chief guest Sri Madhu Pandit Dasa, President of ISKCON, Bangalore, India. Welcome, sir. I hope you can hear us.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
Yes.
Please, the dais to you.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be part of today's discussion, and it's very special that on the eve of
your microphone, we cannot hear you. Now you're audible again. Thank you. There's something wrong. It's turning itself off, I believe.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm speaking from Ayodhya, the Holy Land, where all of India is right now reverberating with Ram consciousness. And it's very, I'm very privileged to speak on the Song Divine by Dr. Srilakshmi. And I had the privilege to write a foreword for that. I would like to mainly comment on one very significant contribution that Dr. Srilakshmi has made by publishing this, by writing this poem and publishing this book. Bhagavad Gita, the Song Divine, has got two aspects to it. One is called the Tattva, or the philosophical aspect, and the other is called the Rasa. Rasa means the aspect of the personal aspect of God and Arjuna, God Krishna, and Arjuna, the representative of the servant of God, and Krishna representing the Supreme Personality of God. So the entire literature, if someone wants to understand the philosophy, yes, he can understand the layer of philosophy. And if someone wants to understand the beautiful, loving relationship between God and the living entity, yes, he can also get that. Now, this is in the original Sanskrit. It combines both. So Dr. Srilakshmi has actually represented both in English language, which is very tough to convert a Sanskrit poem to its English equivalent, which is very difficult, 100%. But I have to congratulate her for achieving quite a lot towards this particular target of bringing both. In respect of bringing forth the personal relationship aspect of Krishna and Arjuna, probably as a poem, as a poet, it's easier than to bring forth the philosophy through the poem. And I would say that somehow, definitely by the will of divine, because it's a song of God, it has graced upon Dr. Srilakshmi to be able to intertwine the both in the form of an English poetry. So with these few words, I would like, after congratulating her, because I personally am not a person of, I'm a science student. I'm I may not be able to appreciate all the literary nuances in the work of Dr. Srilakshmi. But this much I can say, as a common man, I read her book, and then I felt quite inspired, and I felt that it is quite a great contribution to this world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir,
for the wonderful insight you have given us, and for the highlighting the difficulty that Dr. Srilakshmi had into converting, like you said, into the English language. It's very difficult. I understand that too. Being a Greek, converting everything into English, and you know, our language is also a difficult one, coming from ancient times, just like yours.
Yeah, right.
And I understand that very much. It's good that what you said, everything was perfect. Thank you so much. I will also give you a small introduction on Dr. Srilakshmi, who entrusted this beautiful Song Divine book of hers into Writers International Edition, and we're very happy and proud of this publication. Dr. Srilakshmi Adhyapak hails from Bangalore. She's a doctor by profession and has specialized in interventional cardiology. She's presently professor and head of the Department of Cardiology, St. John's Medical College Hospital, Bangalore, India. She composes poems during leisure and pursues it as a hobby. She derives inspiration from nature and events around her. She has been inspired by ancient scriptures and has composed poems on the Ramayana and various other mythological stories. In this book, she has rendered the Bhagavad, I'm not sure, Gita in English poetry. Her recent book, The Song Divine, was published by Writers International Edition and was nominated for Panorama Golden Book Awards 2023. Congratulations, Dr. Srilakshmi, for this beautiful, beautiful book, Song Divine. And now the dais to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be qualified to speak about my own book, so I would request you to ask the others to say what they want to say about it.
Only perhaps, thank you, it's wonderful what you said, only perhaps the spark of inspiration behind writing it, if you wish to share it with all of us.
Yeah, the inspiration came long back, and it was a very daunting task. So I was not very sure if I could do it. But as I started reading and trying to make it into English verse, it just came along quite smoothly. Then I was able to, I didn't know if I could go on up to the 18th verse, but then there are 18 verses and the book is divided into 18 chapters. So, but then by God's grace, I finished it. Thank you.
Congratulations. Really inspirational what you shared with us. And I would also like to welcome warmly, ladies first, dear Ambika Ananth, Dr. Attrayee Chatterjee, Dr. Jyothi Idiculla, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right, and Dr. Sreekar Balasundaram. I'm so sorry about pronouncing the names wrongly. So without further ado, let us start our discussion. Who would like to comment on this wonderful, wonderful title and concept of Song Divine? First, after Dr. Srilakshmi.
Shall I?
Of course. Warm welcome,
So
dear Jyothi.
A very good evening to all of you, and thank you, Dr. Srilakshmi, and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to be part of this event. So the first thing that struck me when I took the book in my hands was a beautiful color illustration of Krishna and Arjuna. I was totally awestruck by the beauty of the painting by Dr. Sreekar. So congratulations, Dr. Sreekar. And as I took the book into my hands and turned the pages, I found that the Bhagavad Gita was transcribed in a very pristine English, maintaining every emotion of the Pandava Prince Arjuna and every intonation of Lord Krishna. So what I found is that the book etches the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, revealing the purpose of human existence and the ultimate union with the Supreme Lord of the universe. I was particularly enamored by the verses in chapter 4. Can I read it out, if I may? Pain and pleasure.
Please go ahead. Yes.
Pain and pleasure to him perceived equal, his mind over matter quelled, liberated from fear and anger, free from want and hunger, with mastery absolute over all senses, aware of the supreme, devoid of all pretenses. Death, the Lord said, was the truth ultimate. All that is born to perish in time definite. Death and decay, attributes of body ephemeral, performing one's duty alone, a deed primal. To fight battles and uphold right, a warrior's duty with all his might, to vanquish foes, deceitful and dark, in victory blazing to make a mark. Victorious in battle, foes dark annihilated, or die fighting in battle, fire raging unabated, turning back on one's duty supreme, shame and disgrace, corrosives extreme. So, what beautiful lines. So, to sum up, it's a splendiferous book. And it is a tome for all who are searching for the meaning of life. I congratulate Dr. Srilakshmi for her Herculean task in bringing out this wonderful book on Bhagavad Gita, the Divine Song. Thank you. And I should also say that I was inspired by the last couplets, which talk about, goes like this: wherever the charioteer of intellect and prince wielding his how exist, victory exalts from all corners in a magnificent tryst. Thank you all, and congratulations, Dr. Srilakshmi and Dr. Sreekar, once more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyothi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You really picked a wonderful part to recite from the book. Thank you. And since the name was mentioned of Dr. Sreekar, I think that it is his time now to say a few words about his beautiful creation. And really, it's something that inspires everybody inside and outside India, throughout the world, because what you really depicted is monumental. Congratulations on that. Please, the dais to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And should I do my presentation now, or should I keep it
Please,
for a
go
little later?
ahead. Yes, of course. I think
Yeah,
it will give us
well,
more insight into the book, so better now.
So I would, before I start, I'm really honored to be part of this book, and I really thank Srilakshmi, because it is a very tough topic, and she is a very good writer, and I was really honored that I was able to do something. And it's not my usually what I do, what I paint. I usually do abstract works and other things, but this was something different and very challenging for me, because Bhagavad Gita and what art it represents has been done by so many people before, and so many artists. There are so many popular versions. Like, how am I going to make it different? So it was a little challenging for me, but in the end, I think people liked it, and I'm very happy about that. Okay, I'll just start my brief presentation. Are you able to see the slides? You're able to see?
Yes,
It's beautiful.
Yeah, okay, I just thought I'll just briefly speak out, since I'm the artist in this. I'm not a very good literary person. And since I've contributed to the art in the book, I thought I'll just speak about how art has been depicted in the Bhagavad Gita over the ages. So basically, art and iconography, I will talk about the Indian Hindu household, because they're not very new, because initially what we see from the ages, the scriptures and works were passed on to generations by word of mouth, and usually this was restricted to the priests and rulers who spoke the language in which it was written, especially Sanskrit. And artistic expression was generally restricted to the temples of worship or the palaces of the rulers. So, and later the discourses, when the people wanted to make it more popular, the public discourses started, the dance forms came later. And to become more popular, these works needed first to be translated. So the Bhagavad Gita, like if I remember, was first translated by Charles Wilkins, if I remember, in the 19th century. It was the first English translation of the Bhagavad Gita. And then, of course, in India, it was already being translated into local dialects during the Bhakti movement. It started with Gyaneshwar, I think, Maharashtra. He did summarize the essence of Gita in what is called the Gyaneshwari, and that became very popular. And likewise, the various saints, Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, all of them have translated this in their local dialects and made it popular. So art and artists, why are we needed? Yes, we are needed because to enhance the appeal of the scriptures, or to take it to the common man, so that they understand what is being written. If not everyone can understand the complexities of philosophy or whatever is expressed in these great scriptures, to bring it down to the common man, I think artists do play a great role. So if you see art in India, initially this is one of the, from the Mughal times, it is shows the war scene from the Mahabharata. So there are various styles in which it was represented. This is a palm inscription of the one of the verses from the Mahabharata, and adjoining with an artwork which represents what is being told. And of course, more popular folk forms. This is the third one which I'm showing, is from the Python work from Maharashtra. It actually symbolizes the battle between Abhimanyu and Ghatotkacha over there. Then sculptures. The sculptures had a great role. So they were called upon to decorate the temples. So you can see on the right-hand side, the famous scene from Abhimanyu's battle with the Chakravyuha in Halebeedu in Karnataka. And also you have similar war scenes depicted in the Kailasa temples. And also the Angkor Wat scenes from Mahabharata or Ramayana are also equally famous. Then comes in this man called Raja Ravi Verma, and the printing technology that he brings along in the 19th century. It ensured that calendar art became popular, and it had a wide acceptance and flooded all our houses. All the houses had his paintings adorning the walls. I mean, it became the most popular. We could identify with the gods because they were represented as more common, and all his paintings were so popular in those days. But of course, the modern artists, they started labeling it as skits art, gaudy type of art, and then it has changed. It's become a fashion statement. Images from calendar art are there everywhere, and they have come a long way into identifying with our culture and how they help popularize these scriptures. And Western artists were not far behind, especially if, I think if you remember, there was an artist called Warwick Gobble. He was more famous in depicting illustrations for children's magazines, fairy tales, especially Snow White and Seven Dwarfs and Beauty and the Beast. He also drew a lot of illustrations for Indian scriptures, especially from Bengal. And in this one, what I put here, one is of Ganga meeting Shantanu, or the second image, which shows the insulting of Draupadi in the court. Very elegant drawings and all watercolor works, so beautifully done in those days. So were there rules to depict our gods? Of course, or did the artist just use his imagination, and if it became popular, it became popular? Yes, of course, sculpturing in our Indian temple tradition have such certain rules. They have proportions. The face has to be so much, the length of the arm, everything has to be there. But calendar art changed everything. It depended on the artist, what he wanted to portray. He infused all the iconography that was provided. He took substance from what was described about the gods, and he made his own calendar art, and that became very popular in the households. So freedom of expression in drawing and painting these gods had its shares of controversies, of course. And the sad part of these calendar artists is many of them are unknown. So it has just become popular, and if the printing press goes on printing, nobody knows who actually did the original work. So this is a typical household. The first picture actually is the puja room in my house. It's with my mother, and you can see it's flooded with images of this calendar art, all framed with lots of gods and iconic images and with multiple arms. And I've grown up in such a household, so it is very fascinating. And to see that, and on the right hand side, you can see a typical calendar that you get. You get it to this day. This is the later of this year. Your iconography, and you have everything, astrology, arranging, everything is put into one calendar. It just stuns your mind. Like, there's so much into kids art and calendar art that is so popular still in India. And this is also from my house. The first one, it's actually a 1935 lithograph. It is aptly titled Gita Swarupam. It was available in those days. It's one of our prized possessions from the family. It just shows that it's the central theme. You see the Krishna and Arjuna in the center, and then each of the popular verses are drawn around that to show the most important phrase from each chapter of the Gita. So calendar art went beyond just depicting gods and goddesses. It incorporated what was to be interpreted from them. And of course, one of the most popular features which you can get from the 70s and 80s is this Vishwarupam from the calendar art. And of course, all our childhood memories, we've all grown up with this comic book called Amar Chitrakatha, and they brought out a special issue on the Gita way back in 1977. And it's very briefly written, it's wonderfully written. And I just put it up to show the Vishwarupa, how the artist, I met this artist at an exhibition of mine in Pune. His name is Mr. Pratap Malik. And you can see how beautifully they've illustrated the way. And even the descriptions are very simple and very nice to understand for the common people. So basically, what is Bhagavad Gita? It is basically starts off with Arjuna's dilemma, whether or not to fight his relatives and kill his own family. It leads to a crisis of his conscience, and then Krishna discourses about life and death to him. And this act of discourse of Krishna to Arjuna and Arjuna's state of depression and non-confidence, it forms a core scene for an artist to depict in any book on the Gita. So that's the first scene that everybody thinks. An Arjuna who is demotivated and who's looking forward to Krishna to guide him. And the second point of interest for everyone is the Vishwarup depiction of Lord Krishna, like how he shows him. Arjuna is still not convinced that whatever is Krishna is saying, I'm not convinced. So he says, no, you look at the actual form of me and then you will realize what I'm saying is true. So he shows him his Vishwarup. This is one of the depictions of how Arjuna is shown. Either he's sitting on a chariot being like an obedient student listening to Krishna, or he's got on from the chariot saying, no, I don't want to fight. He's contemplating what to do, his hand on his cheek, and Krishna is advising him. This is from the illustrations from the Gita press. It's also one of the very old presses that were involved in printing these texts into local dialects like Hindi and other languages, and made it very popular. And then, of course, you have famous paintings from Rajasthan and other styles which depict the same scene of Arjuna bowing down and listening to Krishna in the middle of a battlefield. So finally, in the chapters 10 and 11, I think that's where the Krishna actually shows him his Vishwarupa, or the grand form of Vishwa. Vishwa means universal, and it's an omnipresent form of Vishnu. It basically encompasses everything. What is there, what is not there, what can be thought of, what can't be thought of, everything. It's just God is trying to say that I'm there everywhere. You have to just surrender to me. So that happens in chapter 10 and 11. And it's based on this description of Arjuna that all the artists get ideas as to, because basically for an artist, what is depicted is God is depicted as having multiple heads and arms, and he is infinite. And also there is a verse which says that Arjuna can't bear to see this. It's so magnificent and so disturbing, this sight. He sees everything, the past, the future, everything he sees in this form. And he has to come. So he requests Krishna to come back to his normal form. So he says, yes, I've understood what you mean. And so it's not that only it's during this time that Krishna is supposed to have revealed the Vishwarup to Arjuna. There are other instances quoted in Mahabharata itself. One is when Duryodhana tries to capture Krishna and arrest him, when he tries to do a peace negotiation in Dhritarashtra's assembly before the start of the war. That's one more time when they say Krishna showed his Vishwarup. It's depicted in this beautifully in Amar Chitrakatha illustration. And also they also say there are many other, there is a different version of Ramayana which shows that Rama also is supposed to have shown this Vishwarup form of Vishnu to the sages. And also it's very interesting to note in the Atharva Veda, Vishwarupa is often referred to for the bride, because she is going to bear the progeny of the family. So she is endowed with all the qualities of the universe. So they even say that the bride is like a Vishwarupa. So Arjuna's description of the Vishwarupa gave iconographers, there were two options for us artists what to do. Either you depict Vishnu as multiple armed god, or you show all the components of him within a human body. So early sculptors chose the former. They were fascinated with the multiple arms, multiple heads. But the Buddhist artists were more happy with displaying the other form. So these are the early versions from the BC, 5th century BC, showing Vishnu as three-headed, showing one of his avatars, Narsimha, Varaha, and all the heads seem to be arising from the neck region. And this is another famous sculpture of the Vishwarupam in Nepal, which shows Vishnu standing in the center and he's ascending into heaven. The right side and left side, right side depicting all demonic aspects, and all the good virtues are depicted on the left side. And the lower down, you have the heaven, the hell, and Nagas and other Devatas. So he's presiding over all the three world regions, heaven, earth, and below the earth, that is the hell. And these are other interesting, iconic Vishwarupa. You can see it. So all the artists were, of course, fascinated by this multiple arm, multiple leg, and showing whatever they could, how many ever instruments. And this is, of course, then started the calendar prints, which became popular in the early 1900s, like I mentioned before. The first one shows the Buddhist concept, showing the head and the belly occupying the heaven, the earth is depicted in the groin, and the underworld is depicted with legs. But the basic form of Vishnu is maintained with the Sudarshan Chakra and the conch, and of course his lotus and his mace. Even they say the Vamana avatar also can be considered, in some texts it's mentioned as a Vishwarupa, because he conquers the universe, basically. He is with his two steps, he has conquered heaven and earth, and the third step when he asks, that's when Bali Maharaja gives him his head and he pushes him down to hell. So even with the Vamana avatar is sometimes considered to be a Vishwarupa of Lord Vishnu. Of course, then coming to modern times, there's a very beautiful and nice statue at Narayana Hridayalaya Hospital in Bangalore, where we used to work before. And it shows the beautiful Vishwarupa and showing battle scenes on either side, and also Arjuna sitting with Krishna on the chariot below. It is one of the beautiful statues that I think if anyone in Bangalore should have a look. And this is, of course, from a temple in Chennai, which shows the Vishwarupa and Arjuna at the feet of Krishna. Coming to Western influences, actually most of our Indian art, I think if Madhu Pandit Das is there, he should comment. I mean, these were all, ISKCON became iconic with all these images, and they were all done by Italian artists, I presume, oil on canvases and such beautiful works which depicted, and of course the Bhagavad Gita of ISKCON, I think, is the most popular Bhagavad Gita that sells in the world today. And the artists have done a really wonderful job with these paintings. There's another painting I wanted to show, which I found very interesting on searching. This is Arjuna shown in a Rajput style painting, and Krishna is uttering. His mouth is open, and he seems to be uttering the Bhagavad Gita, and it's like a kaleidoscopic view, and everything Arjuna seems to be seeing inside his mouth. I thought it's very interesting from the artist's point of view, as how he has represented the Bhagavad Gita in this painting. And this is another one which combines the Buddhist and the other version I told you. He's given multiple forms, but he's mentioned all the three levels of heaven and the hell, everything, and also within the belly of Narayana, everything is represented. So for the artist, the imagination is unlimited. Searching the internet, now we have come across and the advent of AI, you can see there are multiple levels, and here it's very interesting. They put the Lord Jagannath of Puri as the central figure in this Vishwarupa, and to not comment, I mean, the feminist form is not far behind. I don't know if it is like, no, ladies are no less, and we are also a universal form. And this part depicts all the ladies with multiple hands. Yes, we are the mother of the earth. And an artist has drawn the Durga Ma with multiple arms and things. So there's no dearth of freedom of expression and of what this universal, or what you call Vishwarupa is. And when I was searching the internet, I just put in Vishwarupa and gave some specification. This is what came out of AI generated art. It's so interesting. I mean, anything can happen these days. I mean, it's so interesting for artists that it's just limitless. And finally, to come to my paintings that have been depicted in the book, it took a long time, especially to do this. I took more than 3 weeks, I suppose, to conceptualize and do this. I think Srilakshmi was very patient with me to finish this. One is, of course, showing Arjuna. Both are acrylic on canvas, and the first one is showing Arjuna in a very depressed state. His hand is on his head, but Krishna is very firm, calm, and he's saying, and it's like as if he's showing the path, like, listen to me and come to this path. And that was taken for the cover. And then this is the Vishwarupa, and this Vishwarupa, when I was doing, that's when this popular Western movie Oppenheimer came around. And I think, what it describes of Vishnu in that is he's like 1,000 blazing suns. He's illuminating so much light. So I thought that I'll make that the central concept, and everything seems to merge into him. So I've kept the basic form of Vishnu, and Arjuna is reduced to a shadow at his feet, and everything is like flames emanating from Vishnu. All the past, all the faces. He's God. He's a goddess. He's all the demigods. He's everything. All the planets are swirling in between. So I gave a little bit of my touch to that concept of Vishwarupa in my painting. And finally, and this is one of my favorite, this is how the Bhagavad Gita and the Amachita Katha ends, and I thought it is a very apt ending that I've given. So from all the ages, we know that the Pandavas defeated the Kauravas and all this, but more memorable, like they say, was the discourse that Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna, and what he instructed in those days has enlightened and inspired Indians down the ages. So they start with Shankaracharya, all the sages, Dhyaneshwar, Tukaram, everybody, Lokmanya Tilak, Vivekananda, Gandhi, they all have their versions of Bhagavad Gita. And isn't it ironic that we are also at this age, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita on this platform, and I found it's like this text is really everlasting, and we are still discussing Bhagavad Gita in this age, which was written centuries ago, and that's an amazing thing. I would like to end my talk. Thank you.
What a beautiful presentation. I think I have learned so much through that, and it was really inspiring for me as well. Congratulations on the beautiful painting for the cover that you offered for the book of Dr. Srilakshmi. And now I understand better myself too, why some deities are depicted with many hands and arms, and it's great. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Bravo. Wonderful, really. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and all thanks once again to Dr. Srilakshmi to give me a chance to do this. And I don't usually do these type of works, and so it was an honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So where do we go now, Dr. Srilakshmi? Maybe to
Ambika.
Ambika. We would have the same the same name in our mouths.
Thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Sreekar, for a wonderful, inspiring presentation. It was truly, truly educative and very informative. Thank you so much. And at the outset, I would like to give my pranams to our chief guest, Madhu Pandit Dasa, and my greetings to all of you. Dr. Srilakshmi's work is a very seminal one. It's a poetic rendition of Bhagavad Gita in English, which is a seamlessly woven tapestry of poetic beauty and profound spirituality. The 18 poems composed by her are 18 golden nuggets of high spiritual value and poetic excellence. Only when one has a deep connection with the divine and has an inherent spiritual disposition can one bring out the powerful hymn of Bhagavad Gita into poetic form in chaste English, using powerful tools like alliteration and rhyme. Very few poets, in fact, can attempt this style, as it calls for greater innovation and high command on language. Alliteration is a good way to link words and ideas together thematically and to put the spotlight on the main subject by drawing the attention of the listeners and the readers. And in a very pleasing way, because there will be a musicality that makes the work more beautiful and appealing, and it becomes more memorable. Poem after poem, Dr. Srilakshmi maintained her style with great ease and finesse, a hallmark of a great poet. Here I would like to give an example from chapter 10, the Vibhuti Yoga, where Arjuna is fully convinced of the supreme divine qualities of Lord Sri Krishna. What Dr. Srilakshmi wrote here is just too beautiful. So it starts like this. With total surrender to the divine presence, shed shackles tangible and enter spiritual essence. Path of conduct to follow repetitive, he urged. Chanting his name, all worldly bondage purged. Twin paths were seen to exist. One a light and one misty for the soul's exit. Brilliant light shedding beams pearly, leading to bliss eternal clearly. Shrouds hanging low, a mirage seeming, through life's circle of birth, in multitudes teeming. So this is how it goes. And it's a great, great writing by Dr. Srilakshmi. She had put her spirit, her heart and soul into this work. We truly must congratulate her on this work. Though Bhagavad Gita is highly reverential, spiritual, mystical, philosophical, and social in outlook, and with deep roots in Hindu consciousness, in the present day world, we simply believe that it is a funeral song, because most of the time, this Bhagavad Gita is played when a person dies or it's a mourning period kind. Though it is the song of life, it gives the essence of life, how one should live with all the courage, with determination, motivation, everything. It has every aspect for a human life to blossom in the right direction with spirituality and the right kind of the heart, the ingredients, what makes the heart a very, very sturdy one to face life in all its difficulties and everything. So now I think the time has come when Bhagavad Gita should be spread much more, and it has to assert itself. But in most of the schools, or even in our regular life, public life also, the intricate, the inherent qualities of Bhagavad Gita should be taught to children right from the beginning, like how they do. The Muslims, they teach Quran right from the beginning, and Christians, they teach Bible. But Hindus, they still believe that Bhagavad Gita is meant only for such deep philosophical thought and all that. But I think it should be spread in a wider, much wider way to get the full benefit from this great work. And so they say, when you pray, you talk to God, but when you read Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is speaking to you. So the most important aspect is that. So Dr. Srilakshmi's book will find an irreplaceable presence in the world of religious literature, with the mystical light of Bhagavad Gita and with the power of poetry and creative strength. I'm truly blessed that my small note of appreciation found a place in her book. And now I'm given a chance to say a few words in this beautiful gathering. The song Divine adorns beautiful and meaningful paintings by Dr. Sreekar, which value added highly to the book and to the senses of the readers. And the remarkable lifelike quality and apt expressions are to be really appreciated. We must thank Dr. Sreekar for his contribution to the book. And as writer's international edition, this book stands testimony to their publication standards and their wide global reach. Congratulations to Irene and Preet Nambiar. My best wishes to all of you, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
We thank you for this insightful work into Dr. Srilakshmi's book. Thank you so much, dear Ambika. You also have entrusted us with your book, and we're really proud of that as well. Cascades, thank you so much. Congratulations as well. And it has been a pleasure to hear all these beautiful words from you, coming right from your heart, for Dr. Srilakshmi and her divine song. And now, who would actually contribute to this beautiful conversation on the song Divine, which is actually a gem. As we saw, it's not just one thing, it's the verses combined with the divine word, and all of this also combined to a beautiful illustration of the cover. And actually it all gives the perfect outcome for a religious book like this, bearing philosophical also basis. And I think there are some people here, panelists who have not talked? Attrayee?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Warm welcome. Attrayee Chatterjee.
Thank you, Irene. Yeah.
Thank you. Warm welcome.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me on this panel. It really feels good to be a part of Writers Capital Foundation, and heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Srilakshmi for this beautiful book, and to Sreekar Balasundaram for providing such beautiful paintings of. Actually, I was, I was blown off by the beauty of the Vishwaroop painting. It's really very creative, and I mean, in spite of seeing so many Vishwaroop, like just now, Dr. Sreekar, you showed your presentation, and it was so enlightening because you being an artist, you have delved deep into it. But it was really such a beautiful learning experience for me. It was a journey you took us on, right from the very beginning up to the present day, to AI generated images. But your painting it really defies everything, and it adds so much of value to the book. And I'm amazed at Dr. Srilakshmi's depth of understanding of the Bhagavad Gita, because this is one of the texts, rightly said by Dr. Ambika, Ananth, and Dr. Srilakshmi, that also Sreekar also, and Madhu Pandit Dasa also, that this is one of the the basic books of the Hindu religion. Basic books. It is something. This philosophy is not something that has been given and then forgotten. We are constantly living it. Actually, we are living it in our daily lives. So, attempting something on the Bhagavad Gita itself is a very challenging thing. And when I read through the book, I was really, I was really so happy, so glad to be reading such a seminal work. I'm sure people will find solace in the book itself, just as people find solace and guidance through the Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita, and everybody cannot read Sanskrit. So this is a very important achievement, I would say. And also the very fact that it is rhymed. She has written in a rhymed couplet style. So that again is a very difficult thing to achieve with the Bhagavad Gita. And to think that the word of God, the word that emerged from the mouth of God, which was said to Arjuna, we are hearing it, we are reading it today in our own language. Now that's a very awesome thing. It's a truly awesome thing. And again, congratulations to both Dr. Srilakshmi, to Sreekar Balasundaram, and to Dr. Ambika Ananth for writing such a beautiful foreword to it. So, and thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. And thanks to Writers Capital Foundation and Irene and Preeti.
Thank you so much, dear Attrayee. Profoundly said all those beautiful words on the book of Dr. Srilakshmi. And now I would like to invite another guest that we have here and has not spoken. I'm not sure if I can pronounce the name well. Ratish Iyer? I'm not so sure. Hello,
Yes.
warm welcome. Please
Thank you so
tell
much.
us your name so that the next time I'll be
No, it's
pronouncing it.
perfectly fine. It's Ratish Iyer.
Ratish
So,
Iyer. Warm
yeah,
welcome.
thank you so much. Thank you very much. And I've been invited by Dr. Sreekar, and very pleased that he, invited an author like me to hear other authors and artists. So it's a pleasure to connect on this forum.
It's a pleasure for us too. Is there something that you would like to mention about the book or about Dr. Srilakshmi?
I'll start with the very ethos of this forum, right? So there are two things that just struck me. So I'll just share it, and I'm sure it will resonate with all of us. The first thing is that, because this forum is filled with scientists and artists, so they say that, in the cave of ignorance, dark ignorance, humanities, the arts, shows the way. Okay, so it's the light that shows the way, but it's the science that tells you how to go. So it's something that I'm experiencing this today when I listen to all the eminent speakers and artists, authors. I've just had a very live experience of this today. And another thing, when we spoke about Bhagavad Gita, it's such a beautiful contrast, that spirituality or the enlightening experience can happen in the middle of a war, which is unthinkable. But they say that during these moments is when you are present in the moment, and that's when wisdom can really dawn upon you. And in Bhagavad Gita too, they say that how did it start, or what was the cause of it, the whole war. If you notice the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, if you read it, the king Dhritarashtra of the nemesis of Pandavas, and the line is something like where he says, how are my children and the sons of my brother Pandu, sons of my... He doesn't say that these are also my children, they belong to my family. So the first discord starts from there, the war starts, the friction starts right there. And the end, of course, we know the whole story, how the war unfolds. But yes, but to show something like this, you need to see it through the artist's eyes. And with Dr. Srilakshmi's work, I've had the fortune of reading her book. I've just started it. I've read a couple of pages. I'm yet to finish it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying both the words and the illustrations that beautifully blend into the pages. So well done, and kudos to the entire team. And it's a fabulous work done.
Thank you so much for your contribution in
Thank you.
today's panel discussion.
Thank you,
Dr.
Ratish.
Srilakshmi. Yes, please.
No, thank you very much. It was a beautiful discussion.
Is there somebody who has not spoken and would like to contribute, to add something? Until someone else says something, Dr. Srilakshmi, I would like you to find a really small piece of the song that you would like to recite to us, if that is possible. That is your favorite, if you would like to say something about the book in general.
No, it's a book which is like what Mr. Ratish Iyer said, that it's in the middle of war. So when you're faced with a crisis, you think of what you have to do. You do not think of the consequence of your action. You think only of what you have to do, which is your duty, which is in front of you. You don't think of the consequence. Will I get something? Will I not get something? Will I fail? Will I succeed? These fears should not be there. So you should have your mind steadfast, keep it in that course of action, and leave the result to God. that is the basic essence of the book, which
Beautiful, really.
is in the battlefield, which is like any other. I mean, we may not fight wars, we are not soldiers, but we do have a small crisis, whatever happens. So I think that is what we should think and go ahead. That is a basic philosophy, is what I feel.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Do you believe that we have concluded all we
I
wanted
think
to say?
so.
Because
I think
we
yeah.
have actually said so much, and it was inspiring for me too to hear all those beautiful different insights on the book and on your book Song Divine. And I also congratulate you once again for this beautiful
And thank you
gem.
very much. Thank you very much for organizing this. And it's a very beautiful, uh, beautiful meeting of beautiful people who said very lovely things, very insightful things. So thank you very much.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Srilakshmi, all of you esteemed guests. And since Panorama's theme is the spark, words ignite the spark and fire. And songs, like the Divine Song, resonate tunes and verses within our hearts. Like we have all seen, poetry and art unite us all, giving us wings to fly across all borders, and you are all the proof. And since I mentioned unity, I shall also mention with pride another project of ours at Writers' Capital Foundation, which is called the Lovedale. The Lovedale is an exciting endeavor, the establishment of the headquarters of the Writers' Capital International Foundation, situated in the culturally rich city of Mysore. Lovedale is not just a building, it's a visionary project designed to provide a haven for our members, a place to pause, recharge, and reconnect with their essence. Regardless of nationality, class, or religion, Lovedale aims to be a unifying space for everyone. Furthermore, Lovedale envisions various community projects, including an old age home, orphanage, and initiatives aimed at uplifting society. Your support, whether moral or otherwise, is really crucial for the success of these ventures. Together, we can make a significant difference in the lives of those in need. Please continue conveying these mighty values of humanity, all of you. We thank each one of you, esteemed friends, panelists, for being a major part of the event with your magnificent works, literary or artistic or scientific. We also thank our viewers for watching us in this particular beautiful session. Before parting with you, we call you all to join us in Writers' Capital Foundation, embracing this massive social change. Become a proud member and let us all join hands and forces for a better future of us all, especially the younger generations. Goodbye, everyone. We promise to unite ourselves in the realm of literature and art again real soon. Goodbye, everyone. A warm embrace from Athens, Greece to you all. This is what Panorama does.
Thank you.
Thank
Much
you.
love and light to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.